Welcome everyone. This is Go with W podcast, and today we are going to talk about WordPress starter theme guidelines. In the previous two sessions, we talked about how to create a FSC theme, like how to get started. We talk about uh, using create blog theme plugin. We created a theme using that plugin. After that, we learn how to use custom fonts, how to make styling, how to make header, footer, and we created a theme. And in the next episode, we talk about like other stuffs of FSC theme development. And now our theme is ready. Today we are going to talk about what are the guidelines that we need to take care about while submitting that particular theme to the WordPress themes repository. So today, I'm not going to talk about a lot and lot of stuffs because there are so many things that we need to take care about. But in case of block themes, we don't need to worry about those big stuffs because in the block theme, we don't need to write PHP codes. And if we don't need to write the PHP codes, then like 90% of the requirement, uh, we really we don't need to check it actually. And rest of the 10% we need to check in block themes as well. So I have a short presentation for you today. And after this presentation, we can do some questions, answers, and then we can talk about more on it. Introducing myself, I'm Ganga Kafle. I am WordPress contributor, full-time contributor sponsored by RankMath. RankMath is one of the popular SEO plugin in WordPress. And I am also the team lead for WordPress themes team, moderator for WordPress photo directory. Sometimes I do contributing core, meta, polyglots, documentation, and many other areas of WordPress. So I'm 24/7 WordPress person. Okay, let's move ahead. So today I'm going to talk about two things: why guidelines and what are guidelines. The first thing is why guidelines. Why what are habit of guidelines that theme author need to check, theme author need to fix them before submitting themes in WordPress. The most important thing is that the theme that we submitted in the WordPress repository will use by like many WordPress users in many websites, and that theme should be secure. One important thing. For the purpose of security reason, we need to follow the guidelines. The guideline created for the purpose of security. Another thing is that the submitted theme should be GPL compatible. It means why? Because WordPress is open source and the product like themes, plugins should be open source. That's why the theme should provide the proper licensing for all the stuffs that we have. That's why we need that guidelines. And to make all types of themes that is submitted in the WordPress have similar but similar way of treating in a similar way, I guess. So we need guidelines. And what are the guidelines? Some of the guidelines we are going to talk about here today are most important one. So let's jump in. So the first thing is licensing. If you are planning to submit a theme in WordPress.org, WordPress themes repository, you need to know that licensing. Licensing is the most crucial thing. As I said before, WordPress is GPL, open source. It means all the code, all the resources used in WordPress, you can reuse it, you can distribute it, you can sell it, everything. And the theme should also be GPL. So the theme that you are going to submit in WordPress.org should be 100% GPL. All the resources that is bundled in the theme. For example, the image using screenshot, the image using theme bundle, fonts, like for example, code library, anything. If you include in the theme, that must be GPL compatible. And all of those licenses should be mentioned in theme readme.txt file. And another thing is that security. The theme must be secure. Without security perspective, if your theme got failed, your theme will not get approved in WordPress themes directory. It means that, for example, if you are using a function, for example, function, let's say webinar underscore go with WP. For example, if you are using of creating a function name webinar underscore go with WP, the prefix should be webinar. Okay, so but the prefix should match with the theme name, theme folder name, simple. For example, if your theme folder name is webinar, then it's fine. Webinar underscore go with WP, perfect. But in the previous version, in the previous webinar, we created a theme name go with WP. So if I give the example, in this case, our function name should be go with WP underscore whatever you want to name the function. Every function name, every class name, image size name. For example, add image size. There is a function called add image size. If you use the image size name, it should also be handled with theme slot. Theme slot means simply remember folder name, theme folder name. So in the last webinar, we created a theme called go with WP, and the function prefix should be go with WP underscore. All the functions should be started with go with WP. All the class names should be started with go with WP. All the names should start with go with WP. Sanitization and validation. Another important thing is that, for example, WordPress is dynamic. If we have to add something in the database, and if we have to take something from the database, at that time, we need to properly sanitize and validate those data. For example, if you have a setting, if you have a setting somewhere in the theme, and if you save the setting in the database, at that time, you need to sanitize it, and then you need to validate it while getting back from the database. But in the case of block themes, we usually don't create our own theme settings. Due to that, we don't need to worry about the sanitization and validation. But if you are a theme developer, if you know how to create theme settings, then you need to know about what is sanitization and validation. And another thing is accessibility. So you need to take care about the accessibility things as well. For example, underline links. Underline link means when there is a big paragraph and if there is a link in the paragraph, that link should be underlined. For example, in the single post, if there's a big content with headings, paragraphs, something, then if there is a link, it should be underlined. That is for the accessibility purpose. Skip link and keyboard navigation. These are also the two features you need to take care about. And if you are creating a block theme, then keyboard navigation will work automatically from WordPress core itself. For skip link, you need to do some tricks. For example, while adding a group, you have an option to select what type of group you are going to create. And in the option, instead of div, you can select a main class. And if you select the main class, then it will work. I think if you check our previous video, you can easily see it there as well. And other things, like I just want to make it very simple, short and sweet. Screenshot size should be 1200 by 900 pixel or any 4:3 ratio. So instead of remembering 4:3, just remember 1200 by 900. That would be easy. Theme URI and author URI. Theme. If you see the starter CSS file at the top, we call it header of starter CSS file. In that header of starter CSS, you can see theme author and theme URI and author URI. Both links are optional. You can either use it or you can remove it. That's optional. But if you use it, both of them should be valid with the genuine information about theme author. And you can also see test it up to. I highly recommend you to test the theme with the current WordPress version. Uh, as I said before, you need to provide the license of all the images used in the theme in the readme.txt file. No error, no warning, or notices allowed in the theme. You need to enable the debug mode from WP config file. WP debug mode should be true. And while enabling the debug mode, if you see error warning notices, then it should be fixed before submitting in WordPress uh, themes repository. Otherwise, your theme will get closed. And how to get familiar with all these guidelines? What are the easiest way? I pointed three different ways. Check other themes. There are so many themes, like more than 11,000 themes in WordPress theme repository right now. You can go visit wordpress.org/themes, download one theme, and start checking it. If you check those themes, you can easily get the idea about all the guidelines that we talk about. Or you can check some popular themes, or you can join our Go with WP Slack channel and ask, hey, I need a theme that I want to learn. You can simply ask the question over there. We'll also give you the theme, which is very simple to learn for you. And another theme is that start reviewing other themes. For example, in WordPress, many theme authors from all in the world submit themes in WordPress themes, and you can start reviewing other themes. Hey, I want to review this theme. You can start reviewing other themes, and from other themes, by reviewing other themes, you can also get some idea about the guidelines. And the last thing is that every second and fourth Tuesday at 17 UTC, we have Teams team meeting in Make WordPress Slack, and you can join the meeting and learn more about Teams. And thank you. Really, block themes is really easy, so simple. We don't need to worry about many guidelines. Yeah, that's it. And my presentation is completed. Please let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.